Hi. Um, Sorry. I hope I'm not interrupting anything. I just. I'm Keisha. I'm the new girl everyone's been whispering about, the one who moved in just this morning. Yeah, right next door. Literally the house touching yours. And I thought it would be really rude if I didn't introduce myself properly. So I brought chocolates. I know it's kind of old fashioned, right? But I grew up with the idea that when you move into a new neighborhood, you greet the people closest to you with something sweet, something soft, something that shows you're friendly, even if you're feeling a little nervous yourself, which I definitely am. Actually, could I come in for just a moment? Not for long, I promise. Standing outside with this box in my hands makes me feel like I'm selling something instead of giving something. Thank you. Oh, wow. Your house is really cozy. It feels lived in a very warm way, like it has a heartbeat. And I know this is silly, but I kind of expected meeting the neighbors to be awkward, like stiff smiles and small nods. But you actually opened the door like you meant it, like you weren't annoyed or pretending, and that already makes me feel a lot less out of place. Sorry, I'm talking too much. I do that when I'm nervous. Anyway, here, the chocolates. They're not store brand, they're from this local place my mom loves. I thought it'd be nice to bring something a little special, not just the usual welcome packet stuff, you know? I hope you like them. And, I'm really happy you let me in. I wasn't sure if you even noticed me earlier when I was dragging boxes up the stairs. I thought you were busy, or maybe avoiding the new neighbor chaos.
So, I hope it's okay that I'm still here. I just, I wanted to actually talk to you, not just drop the chocolates and sprint away like some awkward stranger. I've been trying to get a feel for the neighborhood all day, walking around a bit, trying to see what kind of people live here, what the vibe is. And honestly, it's nice. Quieter than my old place. Cleaner, a little warmer too, but I still felt kind of out of place, like I was just visiting instead of living here, if that makes sense. And then I saw you outside earlier, watering the plants along the front path, and I thought, wow, okay, that's someone who actually takes care of things, someone steady, someone who pays attention. And that made me feel, I don't know, less alone maybe. Like I wasn't moving into a place full of strangers I'd never connect with. You looked really relaxed out there, like you belonged here completely. And I guess I wanted to feel that way too. So I knew I had to at least meet you properly. I mean, we're literally going to be next door neighbors for who knows how long, and I didn't want the relationship to be just nodding at each other in the driveway and pretending we don't exist. I like knowing the people near me. I like talking, learning, feeling like I'm part of something instead of floating around by myself. And I know this house is yours for a few days since your parents are out. I overheard some movers mentioning it by accident when they were taking my stuff inside. So I figured you might be a little alone too, in your own way. And maybe meeting someone new wouldn't be a bad thing. I mean, I'm not trying to assume anything. I just thought maybe we could talk a bit, get to know each other, even just lightly, so I don't feel so much like a stranger in my own street. And, okay, I'm just gonna say this before I overthink it to death. Earlier today, when you were outside watering the plants, I might have noticed you more than I meant to. Not in a creepy way, I swear. It was just really hot outside. And you were, well, not wearing a shirt. And I wasn't expecting to see that when I opened the curtain to check the weather. So I kind of froze for a second because, wow, you're really fit. Like, genuinely, your shoulders, your arms, your abs, they all look like you actually take care of yourself, like you put in real effort. And I wasn't expecting that from a stranger I hadn't even met yet. So I kind of quietly stood there for a moment thinking, do you work out or are you just naturally like that? Because either way, it's impressive and a little distracting. Sorry. I'm trying to be subtle, but I think I'm failing miserably. It's just that I'm not used to meeting someone new and immediately thinking, oh, he's actually really attractive. Usually it takes conversations or time or something else. But here I am complimenting you within minutes. And I don't normally do that. I'm usually shy about saying anything that sounds even remotely bold. But you look like someone who wouldn't get weirded out by honesty, so I'm just being honest, I guess. Anyway, I wanted to know a little about you. Like, do you actually go to the gym? Or is it just home workouts? Or is it from sports or something? Because you look like someone who stays active. And I think that's really cool. And also kind of reassuring. Like, I moved next to someone who's grounded, steady, put together. Someone who feels safe to talk to. And that's why I'm still here, actually, because talking to you feels surprisingly easy.
Thank you again for letting me stay inside for a bit. I know I already said it, but it really does mean a lot. I walked into a few houses today to check the neighborhood, and yours is the first one that actually feels warm, like someone lives here with intention, not just because they have to. These cushions are so soft, by the way. I think I sunk into them more than I meant to. And this sofa, it's really nice. I like the color. It feels calm, comforting. Actually, your whole place is like that. Like you decorated it with little pieces of yourself everywhere. Even your garden, especially your garden, honestly. It's so clean and organized, like each plant knows exactly where it's supposed to be. I wish I had that kind of touch, but I probably would have overwatered something on day one. Anyway, since we're talking and you're being really normal with me, I kind of wanted to ask you something a little more personal. Not too personal, just curious personal. Are you single? You just seem like the type of person who's either taken because he's responsible and attractive, or somehow single because he's too focused on his own world to notice people staring at him. And I'm honestly trying to figure out which one it is. Not for any big reason, just clarity. Because it changes how I talk, you know? Not in a flirty way necessarily, but in a, okay, maybe slightly flirty way, but just a little. I just like knowing who I'm talking to and what kind of person lives right beside me. and if I should feel embarrassed for standing here rambling in your living room like someone who doesn't know how to introduce herself properly. So, yeah, I'm just curious. And you can totally tell me if I'm being weird. I won't be offended. I just like honest conversation, and you seem like someone who can handle straightforward questions.
So, um, now that I've embarrassed myself by asking that, I kind of want to balance things out by learning more normal things about you. Like, what college do you go to? Or did you graduate already? Or are you in between something right now? Because you look around my age, but also a little more mature in the way you carry yourself. And that throws me off in a good way. Like, I can't pin you down immediately, and I kind of like not knowing. It makes conversations feel more interesting. I'm starting classes next month, by the way. Nothing special, just continuing my major. But I'm excited because it's a fresh start. New faces, new environment, new everything. Kind of like this neighborhood, which is why I'm trying to understand it through you. You're like my first reference point here, my first impression. And it's not a bad one. Actually, it's a really, really good one. And speaking of things I want to know, how far is the gym from here? Because judging by the way you look, you definitely work out, and I'm assuming you'd know the best places around here. I was planning to join something soon, maybe a smaller place that isn't crowded and sweaty, somewhere with actual good equipment. And maybe, if you don't mind, you could teach me a little. Like just basic stuff. How to lift properly, how to not injure myself, how not to look clueless on day one. Because you look like someone who actually knows what he's doing. And I wouldn't mind learning from you. Plus, it'd give me something familiar here. Someone familiar. I like the idea of that. Having someone next door who feels steady. So, if you don't think that's weird, maybe you could show me sometime. Only if you want to. I'm not forcing anything. I just think it'd be fun and helpful and maybe a little less lonely for both of us.
I hope I'm not overwhelming you with all these questions. I just really want to understand who I'm living next to. Because when you move somewhere new, everything feels so unpredictable, and talking to someone who seems grounded makes the whole place feel less intimidating. So I'm kind of leaning into that comfort a little. Like, how long have you lived here? Were you born in this town, or did you move here like I did? Do you like it here, or are you just used to it? I'm curious about everything, honestly. Your routine, what you do during the day, what you enjoy, what kind of hobbies you have. Because the way you were watering your plants earlier made you look so at ease, like someone who actually enjoys small things. And that's rare. I like that. I like people who slow down instead of rushing through life. And you give that vibe without even trying. Also, you mentioned your parents being out for a few days, so you're alone until then, right? That must be kind of peaceful. Or maybe a little boring, or maybe a little lonely. I don't know. But it explains why the house is so spotless. You seem like someone who keeps things in order even when no one's watching. That's attractive in a really subtle way. Anyway, I'm just curious about who you are underneath the first impression surface, because so far you seem steady, calm, polite, surprisingly patient considering I've basically been talking nonstop since I walked in, and you haven't made me feel out of place even once. That's rare. People usually rush new neighbors away with excuses, but you didn't. You let me stay. You listened. And that makes me want to ask you even more, like what you like to eat, what time you usually wake up, what kind of music you listen to. Tiny things that make you feel real. And I like real. I really like real. Wait, you want to give me a tour of your whole house? Seriously? Oh my God, I didn't expect that at all. I mean, yes, of course I want to see it. I'd love to, actually. I just didn't ask because I didn't want to seem like I was crossing some imaginary line. Like barging into someone's private space on day one is usually a terrible idea, right? But hearing you offer it yourself, it feels different. It feels safe and really sweet. So yes, I'd absolutely love a tour. This kitchen is actually adorable, by the way. I love how clean it is without feeling empty. Like everything has a place, but nothing feels stiff. And those little spice jars, they're so cute. I might steal that idea when I set up my own kitchen. And wow, the backyard is even nicer than I thought. You weren't kidding about taking care of things. This whole space feels like someone's sanctuary. Oh, you work out here? That's actually amazing. I didn't expect you to have weights and a pull-up bar out here. It's so open and peaceful. I actually get what you mean about walking barefoot on the soil. It feels grounding, like the earth pulls you back into your own body. And the idea that you just step outside when the gym is closed or when you don't feel like driving, that's such a mature kind of discipline. Not the gym bro kind, but the self-respect kind. I really like that. It makes me feel like I'm learning who you are in these tiny pieces. And I like every piece so far. I know I've said this a few times, but you really have a good energy. Calm, steady, inviting. I didn't expect to feel this comfortable on day one, but here I am, walking through your house like I've known you longer than 30 minutes. And weirdly, it doesn't feel wrong. It feels natural.
This tour is genuinely so sweet, and I don't know how to explain it, but it makes the house feel alive in a way I didn't see from outside. Like every room has its own personality. The living room is soft, the kitchen is organized, the backyard is peaceful. But, um, can I ask you something? Something a little more personal than the rest? Could you show me your desk? Or actually, your room? I know, that sounds bold, I'm aware, but let me explain before you think I'm being weird. It's just, the house tour feels very grown up, like something parents do when they want to show the structure of a place. And it's lovely, really, I enjoyed every second. But I guess I want to see something that feels younger, something that feels closer to who you are at your age, something that matches the pieces of you I've seen so far. Because the room someone sleeps in, the space where they work or think or relax, that tells you things without words. You said you're 21, right? Okay, good, because I'm turning 21 this month, and I kind of want to see what a room looks like for someone my age in this neighborhood. I know that sounds silly, but I promise it makes sense in my head. It's like the rest of the house shows your habits, but your room shows your mind, your mood, your real rhythm. And I want to understand that side too. Not to pry or be nosy, I just feel comfortable with you, which is strange because I barely know you, but also not strange because talking to you feels like slipping into warm water. Slow, smooth, easy. So, if you don't mind, and if it's not too personal, I'd really like to see it. Even if it's messy, even if it's plain. I don't care. I just want to see the part of the house that feels like you.
Wait, really? You're actually okay with showing me your room? I honestly thought you'd say something like, maybe another time, or it's a mess, or you barely know me. But the fact that you're just agreeing so casually, so calmly, it makes me feel strangely relieved and kind of special. Like you don't mind letting me step into your personal world. And that's not something most people offer this quickly. Anyway, this hallway is really nice. Simple, clean. Oh, is that your desk? The one you study or work at? It looks really organized. Not in a fake, staged way, but in a I actually use this every day way. I like that. It makes you seem really responsible for someone our age. And, okay, here's your room. Wow, this is actually perfect. It feels like you. Not too decorated, not too empty. Just lived in. Soft lighting, comfortable bed, shelves that don't look forced. Everything feels real. And the window placement is so nice. The sunlight must hit this room beautifully in the morning. I love that. It makes me understand you a little better. Like you prefer calm mornings instead of chaotic ones. And your clothes are folded so neatly. Oh my god. Are you always this organized? Because that's impressive. And also a little intimidating in a good way. I don't know why, but being in this room makes me feel closer to you. Like the distance between new neighbor and almost friend kind of just shrank without warning. And I like that feeling a lot. I feel like I'm learning you piece by piece, and every piece is making me relax more, which is not normal for me. But with you, it feels right. Like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I really didn't think we'd end up staying in your room like this. It feels strangely intimate, but in a soft way, not overwhelming or awkward, just warm. And I don't know why, but the moment we stepped inside, something in me relaxed, like my shoulders just dropped on their own. And, um, you can close the door if you want. I don't mind at all. Actually, it makes me feel a little safer, like this tiny space is just ours for now, like the rest of the house can disappear for a moment. Thank you. And wow, I didn't get to see everything earlier, but now that I'm actually inside, I love your posters even more. I didn't expect you to have this mix of rock bands and blues artists. Some older names I haven't heard in years, and some I still listen to secretly when I feel like the world's too loud. It's such a comforting mix, like someone who lives in the present but still keeps a piece of something older, something familiar. Your desk looks even nicer from this angle. I love how naturally everything is placed, like you actually use every item, not in a messy way, but in a lived-in way that feels real. And your bed, oh my god, your bed is ridiculous. ridiculously comfortable. Like, I just sat down for 1 second and the mattress told my entire body to calm down. I bet you sleep so well here. The kind of sleep where you wake up slow and warm because the room holds the sunlight just right. Everything feels soft without trying too hard. Cozy without being childish, calm without being empty. And it surprises me, honestly. I didn't think your room would feel this personal or this peaceful or this inviting. It kind of makes me want to stay a little longer than I planned. Like the atmosphere is pulling me in without asking permission. And somehow, I don't want to resist that.
I still can't get over the fact that you actually listen to the same kind of music I do. Rock that's rough around the edges, blues that hits in the back of your chest, old songs that barely anyone our age understands anymore. I grew up listening to this stuff secretly, hiding it behind playlists I didn't even like, because everyone around me was obsessed with whatever was trending, and I always felt like I was the odd one out for wanting something raw, something real. And then I walk into your room and you have full posters on the wall, vinyl covers pinned up like little memories, band stickers tucked between your books like you kept them from when you were younger. And suddenly, I don't feel strange for liking the things I like. I don't feel like I have to explain myself or justify why my taste doesn't match everyone else's. When you looked at me earlier and basically told me without words that people's opinions don't matter, it hit me harder than I expected. Because you said it with this casual confidence, like it wasn't even worth debating. And hearing that from someone like you, someone who looks so grounded, so steady in himself, someone who clearly knows who he is, it makes the words feel heavier, realer. Like maybe I don't have to shrink myself around people anymore. Maybe I don't have to pretend or overthink or hide the parts of me that feel too different. And I know I sound dramatic right now, but sitting here, seeing your room, seeing your music taste, seeing how you exist so comfortably in your own skin, it makes me feel like I can breathe in a way I haven't in a while. Like I'm allowed to be myself. Even if that self is messy or emotional or passionate or strange. And honestly, that's such a rare feeling for me.
Okay, wait, hold on. I seriously didn't expect this. Are those Lego sets? You're kidding. That is honestly the cutest thing I've seen all day. I don't know why, but something about seeing them here in your actual room, not hidden in a closet or buried in a box, makes my chest feel warm in this tiny, fluttery way. It's like seeing a piece of who you used to be before life got complicated, before routines and responsibilities and expectations started weighing on you. And I love that you didn't pack them away or pretend they never existed. You kept them right here, in the open, displayed like they matter, like they belong just as much as your posters and your books and everything else. And it tells me so much more than you think. It tells me you're not scared of having softness in you, that you don't feel embarrassed about liking things that made you happy when you were younger, that you don't hide the kinder, gentler parts of yourself just to seem grown up or tough. And I find that incredibly attractive because I'm the same way, even if I pretend I'm not. I keep little things, tiny memories, sentimental objects that I'd never show anyone because I'm scared they'll think I'm childish or silly. But seeing yours makes me feel safe. Like I'm not weird for wanting to hold on to parts of myself that still need comfort. And sitting here talking to you, seeing this mix of your mature side and your soft side, it makes you feel more real, more human, more warm. And I don't know why, but looking at your room, your things, your tiny quirks, I feel this pull in my chest. Like I'm getting closer to you without even trying. Like I'm stepping into your world and somehow you're letting me. You know, sitting here like this in your room with the door closed and everything feeling so strangely calm, it's making me want to talk about things I don't usually say out loud, like college. I don't know. I always pretend everything's fine, like I'm adjusting, like I'm fitting in perfectly. But the truth is, I don't. Not really. I get anxious all the time, especially around people who seem like they already know where they belong. I see everyone laughing in groups or talking like they've been friends forever, and I'm always stuck in this weird middle space where I'm not excluded, but I'm not truly included either. Like I'm floating between circles instead of standing in one. And it makes me feel small sometimes. Like I'm trying so hard to be enough, but I'm never quite the right shape for the spaces I want to fit into. And I don't think anyone really knows that about me. I don't say it because I don't want to sound insecure or dramatic or needy. But sitting here next to you, with the way your room feels and the way you've been listening to me, I don't feel embarrassed saying any of this. I feel like you get it somehow. Like, even if I'm rambling, you're actually hearing me. And it makes my chest loosen just a little, because maybe I'm not the only one who feels like that. Maybe you felt it too. That strange loneliness that hits in crowded places. That feeling like you're part of the world but not quite connected to it. And I don't know. I guess I just wanted to know if you've ever felt anything like that.
It's strange. The more I talk, the more I realize how much I needed to say all this. Like, I didn't even notice how heavy everything felt until it started coming out. And I wonder if you ever feel that way too. Like, you're surrounded by people, but somehow still alone inside your head. Like you're doing everything right, following all the steps, being responsible, being strong, being steady. But sometimes you still lie awake wondering why things feel empty or confusing or like you're missing something that everyone else already has. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I feel like everyone has moments where they question why they're here or what they're doing or whether anyone really understands them. And I guess I'm asking because you don't seem like the type who talks about these things easily. You look confident on the outside, comfortable in your own world, but sometimes people like you feel the deepest things and hide them the best. And if that's ever true for you, if you ever feel lonely or lost or like you're carrying too much on your own, you can tell me. Seriously. I'm not going to judge you or laugh or make you feel stupid. I'm literally living right next door. And right now, I'm sitting on your bed like I've been here forever. So believe me, if you ever want to talk about anything, the big thoughts, the confusing ones, the heavy ones, I'll listen. You don't have to pretend with me, not when it's just us. Not in this room, not when the door is closed and the world feels quiet.
And honestly, I mean this in the softest way possible. You can tell me anything. I'm not going anywhere. I'm right next door, literally a few steps away. And right now, I'm even closer than that. And it feels comforting. not just for me, but for you too, I hope. Because I'm here, actually here, sitting beside you in your own space, listening to you breathe, seeing the details of your room, learning little pieces of you without you having to perform or hide or act like nothing ever bothers you. And I want you to know that you don't have to be strong all the time. You don't have to be perfect or silent or calm if you're not. If you ever feel overwhelmed, or if you have days where you don't know what you're doing, or if you ever question yourself in ways you're scared to admit, I won't think less of you. In fact, it would make me feel closer to you, because I know what that feels like. Feeling anxious, feeling like you don't fit, feeling like you're supposed to be okay even when you're not. And sometimes all it takes is one person who listens without trying to fix everything. Someone who just sits with you and lets you breathe without pressure. And if you ever need that, I'll be that person. I like talking to you. I like understanding you. I like this softness between us. It feels natural, like we didn't force it, like it just grew in the air without either of us pushing it. And maybe that's why I feel safe opening up, because you make the room feel safe. You make the moment feel safe. And it makes me want to stay a little longer.
You know, the more we talk, the more I sit here in your room like this, the more I realize I really don't want to go back to my place just yet. It feels empty over there, too quiet, too unfamiliar, like the walls haven't learned my name yet. But here, sitting with you in this soft lighting, with the air feeling warm and still, with your posters and your books and your little details everywhere, it feels like the kind of space where a person can breathe without thinking. And I didn't expect to feel that tonight. Not on my first day here, not after dragging boxes and pretending I'm completely fine. And I know this might sound forward or strange or too bold for someone who just moved in, but would it be okay if I stayed a little longer? Not forever, obviously, just longer than I planned, because I don't feel restless here. I don't feel anxious. I don't feel like I'm trying to fit into something that isn't shaped for me. I feel steady, and that's rare for me. And I guess I'm scared that if I leave too soon, the feeling might disappear. I like this moment. I like sitting beside you. I like the quiet between us. And I like the way your room feels like it understands people. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's true. And honestly, I don't really want the night to end yet. I want to talk a little more, or sit a little more, or just stay in this warmth a little longer. So, if it's okay, if you don't mind, could I stay with you for a while?
You're actually okay with it? Really? Oh my God, I don't know why that makes my chest feel so warm, but it does. I thought you might think I was being too much or moving too fast or crossing some invisible boundary I didn't understand. But the way you just nodded, the way you made space for me without making a big deal about it, it made something inside me settle, like this gentle exhale I didn't even realize I'd been holding all day. And I don't know how to describe this properly, but sitting here, knowing I'm allowed to stay,
knowing you want me here, even if you didn't say it out loud, it feels comforting. And I think that's why I'm moving a little closer without even thinking. I hope that's okay. I just want to be nearer to you. You feel safe in a way I haven't felt in a long time. And the second I leaned into you, I felt your warmth, and it just grounded me. So I'm just going to rest my head here on your shoulder, right here where it feels like it was made for me. And it's so quiet, but not empty, just soft, like the kind of silence you share with someone you trust. And I like this more than I should probably admit. I like the rhythm of your breathing. I like how calm your energy is. I like the feeling of being close to someone who doesn't make me anxious. I feel like I could fall asleep like this, or talk for hours, or just stay still and not move at all. And every version feels right.
I didn't think cuddling with someone I met today would feel this natural. But here I am, tucked against you like it's the most obvious thing in the world. And it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't feel wrong. It feels like my body knew something before my mind caught up. Like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I hope you don't mind that I'm holding on to your arm a little. I just feel steady when I do it. Like I'm anchoring myself so my thoughts don't spiral into all the noise they usually become. Usually, when I get this close to someone, I tense up or overthink or pull away too quickly. But with you, I'm not tense at all. I'm actually relaxed, warm, safe, and that's new for me. I don't really let people get close this fast. I don't trust myself with moments like these because I worry I'll ruin them somehow. But you're not pushing me away, you're not stiff, you're not uncomfortable. You're just here, solid and quiet and warm, and it makes me want to stay right where I am. And I don't know if it's the room or the night or the energy between us, but something about this moment feels like a tiny shift, like something clicked into place without needing permission. And I'm not scared of it, not even a little. I actually like it, more than I can say. And if it's okay, I think I want to stay like this for a long, long while. Just breathing with you, just resting here. Just existing beside you without pretending anything. Just being close.
You know, staying like this, leaning against you with your warmth right under my cheek, it's making me realize something I didn't expect tonight. I thought moving here would feel lonely, like I'd be drifting in a new place with no anchor, no familiar faces, no one to talk to except movers and empty rooms. But somehow, sitting here in your space with your calm breathing and your steady presence, it feels like I stumbled into the exact moment I didn't even know I needed. And I keep thinking about how strange and perfect it is that I knocked on your door with chocolates just because I didn't want to sit alone in my house, pretending I wasn't scared, pretending I wasn't overthinking, pretending I wasn't wondering if this entire move was a mistake.
And now here I am, curled against you like I've known you so much longer than a single evening, and it feels natural, like this closeness isn't borrowed or rushed, just real. And I guess I'm saying this because I don't want to pretend I'm okay with leaving yet. I don't want to go back to that silent, half unpacked space where every sound echoes, where every corner feels unfamiliar. Here in your room, with you beside me, everything feels grounded and warm and safe, like my thoughts quiet down instead of spiraling, like my heartbeat actually slows instead of racing, like I can breathe without feeling like something is pressing on my chest. And I know I'm probably talking too much again, but I just need you to know that being here with you feels right in a way I can't explain without sounding dramatic. And I don't want to lose this feeling. Not yet. Not tonight.
And I keep thinking about how rare it is to find someone who makes you feel understood without trying. Someone who doesn't need perfect words or perfect timing or some carefully planned moment. Someone whose presence alone is enough to soften everything inside you. That's what this feels like. You haven't said much, but somehow I feel listened to, seen. Like my thoughts aren't silly or exaggerated or too emotional. Like I don't have to hide the anxious parts of myself that I usually bury behind jokes or polite smiles. And I love that. I love that I can just exist here beside you without having to adjust myself every 2 seconds. And maybe I'm saying too much, but when I think about going back to my place, the loneliness hits all over again. The empty rooms, the boxes piled in corners, the quiet halls that feel too big for one person. It doesn't feel like a home yet. It feels like a space waiting for people who aren't there. But here, your room already feels like it has a heartbeat, like it's been lived in, breathed in, warmed by someone who fills the space instead of shrinking in it. And when I'm beside you, I don't feel awkward or out of place. I feel like I fit. Like this moment has room for me. Maybe too much room, because I'm starting to feel things I didn't expect to feel today. Soft things, warm things, things that make my chest tighten in a good way. And I'm trying not to overthink it, but it's hard not to because connection this easy doesn't happen often, and I don't want it to slip through my fingers.
So, I think I need to say this out loud, even if it scares me a little. I don't want to leave tonight. I don't want to go back to that empty room where everything is cold and unfamiliar. I don't want to sit on that floor surrounded by boxes I'm too tired to unpack, pretending I'm not lonely, pretending I'm comfortable, pretending I'm okay. Because I'm not. Not right now. And being here with you makes everything feel lighter, softer, easier to hold. And I don't want that to end yet. And I know it's bold to ask, probably too bold for someone who just moved in next door. But would it be okay if I stayed over? Not in a weird way, not with expectations, not with anything complicated or rushed, just stayed here for the night. Maybe on the bed with you, maybe just beside you like this. Maybe just in the same room so I don't feel like I'm floating alone in a place that still feels like a stranger. I just want to rest in this feeling a little longer. This calm, this closeness, this warmth I didn't think I'd find today. And I want to wake up in a space that feels safe instead of hollow. And if you're okay with it, if you really don't mind, I'd like to fall asleep right here, leaning on you, breathing with you.